A belief system is something that you have full assurance on will happen more often than not when it comes to trading.
Mm.
And it doesn't need to happen every single time for you to continue to believe in it. Okay. So let me give you this. I trade three ways. I trade based on two candle theory, which simply means the previous candle, if it closes bullish, I will believe the next candle will be bullish no matter what.
Mm.
As long as price creates a bottom wick first and then flips bullish, it will continue to drive bullish.
Yeah.
The second way I trade is single candle theory, which is if price is not breaking a high and or low, then I believe that price will then flip in the opposite direction as long as it creates in the sell bias, after a buy candle, it creates a top wick and flips bearish and continues to drive bearish. I will believe that no matter what.
Mm. I'll pick your brains for a sec. That's all to do with the 4H, right?
Let me
Oh,
carry on. I'm talking about
yeah.
belief systems for a second.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool, cool, cool.
If it drives bearish and leaves a wick rejection and the next candle opens to create a bottom wick and flips bullish, I believe it will continue to drive bullish no matter what. Okay. And then the final way I trade is based on principles. Principles simply mean that the market does this all of the time, and it's not something that I've made up. Meaning that an overextended candle, bullish or bearish, into a wick rejection area is unlikely to break that area unless there's a news catalyst or economic event.
Mm.
Meaning there is a much higher chance, if given rejections on the lower time frames, that that single candle will retrace its own body.
Mm.
Those are the three ways I trade, and those are the three beliefs that I have. But the core belief for all three is that a candle will close bullish or bearish at some point today.
Mm.
Now that I have that belief system, which is so solid, and don't take this for granted, it is so embedded into my unconsciousness that there is nothing that can make me think otherwise. Nothing that can make me think otherwise. Okay? That means that when I come to the charts or I don't come to the charts, I don't need to trade to believe that I will be successful, make shit tons of money, and get the results that I want. When I come to the charts, that gives me the belief system that no matter what trade I take, as long as it follows my trading plan and aligns with the belief system that I have, I'm guaranteed to get results if I'm consistent. This is making sense.
Mm. Yeah.
This is before I've even taken a trade or even when I'm not on the charts. There is nothing that is going to sway me from that belief system, no matter what. Now, I will say this. There are many religions that believe in God. And if he has, or she has, or whoever you believe it to be has revealed themselves to you, as far as I know, from my own experience and others' experience, God has not revealed himself in flesh, in spirit, with writing on the wall in this day and age, but yet they still believe in God. Yes or no?
Mm. Yeah.
Right. So they have a strong belief in God, but yet they have not seen God.
Mm.
When it comes to walking into a kitchen and we cook on the gas stove, we don't see gas. But if you leave the gas on for long enough, you will smell it. And what will happen? You will believe that there's a gas leak or some sort. If you put the stove on and you haven't lit the fire and you don't believe that the gas is on, eventually you're going to either hear it hissing or you're going to smell it coming out of the stove. Yes or no? But you still can't see it.
Mm.
Okay. Every single one of us goes to bed at night and sleeps peacefully, but no one goes to bed at night praying to the God and praying to the universe, saying, please make sure I breathe through the night and wake me up in the morning, just in case I forget to breathe. We just believe it's going to happen. Our natural human bodily instinct is to use the bathroom. We don't remind ourselves to do it. Our body alerts us. Do you understand? When we think, that's not us listening to our thoughts, our conscious is listening to our thoughts. When we're in a fight or flight situation, there's not much we have to do because our brain will do it for us, unless you're trained. Okay? There's so much that happens in our life that we don't have to think about, that happens in our life that we believe in so much that it just happens. And most of the time, it happens without evidence consistent signs. But once something happens long enough, guess what happens? We adopt a belief. Okay? Now, my question to you and everybody else listening to this is this. Looking on the left-hand side, let's clear this now. Looking on the left-hand side, who sees a bullish candle close and a bearish candle close?
Yeah.
I do.
Right. Let me ask you something. If my belief system is that a candle can close bullish or a candle can close bearish, how many trading opportunities do I have here once prices create a top or bottom wick and then flip to take a trade?
Many.
Too many.
Mm.
So here is a wick and flip, bullish. If I took this trade, without doing any scaling down techniques right now, okay? But if I took this trade, would I have won this trade? I don't care about risk to reward. Would I have won this trade? It created a bottom wick and it flipped bullish. Would I have won this trade?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. If I took this trade, forget about risk to reward again, and I placed my stop loss below this level, and I decided to close it when it closed bullish, when the candle closed bullish, would I have won this trade?
Yes.
Okay. If I said to myself, based on my principles, if price is pushing bearish and there's a rejection, doesn't matter what, I'm trading one candle now. Price is pushing bearish and there's a rejection, and then price tries to push bearish but fails, creates a bottom wick and then flips bullish based on a single candle theory, would I have won this trade?
Yes.
Okay. If I said to myself, I'm only going to take a trade after price has broken a level where there's rejection and closed strong bearish, created a wick projection less than 50% of the previous candle's retracement, and I put my stop loss above it and waited for the candle to close and or held for 3R because that's my target, would I have won that trade?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So BA trader, let me ask you something. What is hard about holding on to that belief system when it happens all of the time? It's not a trick question, but it's probably hard, difficult to answer. But what do you think?
What is hard?
I think it just.
Go on.
No, go on, BA trader. I want you to,
Okay.
hold on, Robin. I want you to
Yeah.
answer this question, BA trader. What is hard?
What is hard?
I don't want to, I'm not trying to trick you, but I'll give you the answer.
Just trying
It's
to think.
hard because you don't believe in your process enough.
You're right. 100%.
Now, let's say I'm doing my final approach to the market, which is extended market, an extended candle into, let's say, a wick rejection area. Let's say, for example, this is a wick rejection area. Previously, I've seen price has pushed bullish and rejected this area. We now have an average range candle into a wick rejection area. How do I know it's average range? Well, it's not rocket science. I can see it's pushed average previous to this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle. I'm not looking at the big candles because they're not average, are they? I'm looking at this one, and this one. I'm looking to see what is average. Similar to this, 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 and now similar to the rest of them. As price comes into that wick rejection zone, I'm not going to teach this concept, but I'm just telling you based on principles. We've seen price reject off of this level. We have a very strong bullish candle into this wick rejection zone, and I can see a bearish candle close. Based on the lower time frame, I'm getting early signs that there's a depletion in this bullish sentiment, and there's a strong sign that the bears are stepping into the market. Now, I don't know for how long they're going to step into the market, but what I do know is when an average candle exceeds its range or is at its average range, starts to show that it's slowing down its momentum and we're seeing the bearish sentiment kick back in, there's a chance that this candle might retrace its own body to bare minimum at least 50%. Now, regardless where it goes, the point is not that. The point is this. If a candle extends into a wick rejection zone, what are the chances that it will reject? The chances are pretty high. How do I know that? Well, if you look at this area here, prices come into a wick rejection zone, there's rejections. Prices come into a wick rejection zone, there is rejections. Prices come into a wick rejection zone, there are rejections. Price comes into a wick rejection zone, there are rejections. I didn't make this up. It just happens all of the time. So there's no reason for me not to believe in this with full faith that as long as I'm consistent in this approach or any of the two approaches that I've just mentioned, and I have a strong enough belief system that as long as I'm consistent, there's no reason why I won't be a consistent and profitable trader and get good results with my process. But it all boils down to the belief system. Okay? Now, once you formed a belief system, that is enough for you to start your journeys as traders, as entrepreneurs, as inventors, whatever it may be, because that's all you need. But to get results, what that requires is consistency. It requires tweaking, it requires refining. And what most traders fail to do is be consistent enough in the belief that they have about what works long enough for them to get results. They either become too aggressive and then end up destroying that belief system, or they become too passive and they don't believe and they don't end up executing because they don't have enough belief system in that process, which at this moment in time is you, be a trader.
Bang on.
And then you have the traders who 100% will adopt the belief system that I'm teaching you or have taught you, or you have adopted yourself, doesn't matter, right? And you just execute. That is it. With discipline, with patience, with consistency, and without let up. And obviously not doing dumb shit. Okay? Now, here's the thing. How does this work? You're holding on to a belief system, but you haven't got results, have you? So how can you hold on to a belief system with no results? It's very hard. One of the things that I say all the time, if it's been done once, it can be done again. Okay? In 1962, I believe it was, or when was it? 1962, 1862? I cannot remember exactly. But JF Kennedy, I think it was 1962, JF Kennedy said at a summit with about 40,000 people, he said, in this decade, we will go to the moon. In front of 40,000 people worldwide and nationally. Now, they were so far off from building this rocket that the Soviet Union was absolutely crushing them. He didn't have a detailed plan of how it was going to happen, when exactly it was going to happen. But what he knew was that as long as he had a strong enough belief system that he was going to make it happen, or they were going to make it happen. And so guess what? It's going to happen. Big statement, big bold statement. He was trying to get people on his side to believe in his belief, to reunite the country, to make everybody stronger, what have you. There was a lot riding on him. But they were so far behind development that the Soviet Union was so far ahead of development that it almost seemed like an impossible feat. 7 years later, guess what happened? They sent Neil Armstrong and the other dude to the moon. Believe it or not, whatever. Don't care. The point is, the story's there. And as I said, he made it happen. But they didn't know how it was going to happen. They just knew that it can happen. Now, that was one person. There was nothing. Well, the Soviet Union had sent rockets to the moon before, so they knew it could happen, but never to the moon. Sorry, sent it out of space, but never to the moon. Now, one person done it. He believed in it so much, they made it happen. Okay. When it comes to, what's his name? The light bulb dude. What's his name? The light bulb dude.
Edison?
Edison.
Thomas Edison. Arguably the number one inventor or the best inventor in the world. Now, everybody talks about him from the light bulbs, but did you know Edison had over 1,000 patents for different inventions? I believe he created the projector, the light bulb, and a few other things. Now, think about this. This man attempted to create the light bulb over 10,000 times. He didn't say that he failed 10,000 times. He said, I just found 10,000 ways. What did he say? I found 10,000 ways to do it different, or something along those lines. Something along those lines. No, 10,000 ways it didn't work, right? Not I failed. 10,000 times. Whether that's the exact number or not, listen to the craziness. If you took 120 trades a month for the next 12 months, you would be at what? What's the maths here? 1,360 trades. 120 trades a month for 12 months, you would only be at 1,360 trades. That means it would take you about 8 years to take 10,000 trades at 120 trades a month. 8 years. Now, if you failed building the light bulb that no one has ever built before, and you attempted 10,000 times with no proof that it can be done, but he didn't give up. He didn't throw in the towel. He didn't quit. He just believed that he was going to make this happen, and he made it possible. Surely, and you haven't taken 10,000 trades, and you haven't consistently done that 120 times a month for 8 years straight. It's crazy when I think about that. If you haven't done that for, how are you lacking in belief that it's possible? When we can look at the charts right now and say, bullish candle, bullish, bearish candle, bearish, bullish candle, bullish, bearish candle, bearish, bullish candle, bullish, bullish candle, bullish, bullish candle, bullish, bullish candle, wick rejection zone, bearish, bullish candle, wick rejection zone, previous candle attempted, flip, bearish, wick rejection zone, attempted, rejected, flip, bearish. The evidence is there. Edison didn't have the evidence. You don't need to trade for 8 years straight, taking 120 trades a month for the next 8 years. You just need to see that it's true, take this as evidence, and run with it. The only limiting belief that you have is the one that you're creating for yourself, but why would you do that? When the evidence is there. We spoke about God. We spoke about the gas. We spoke about, we don't think about breathing at night. We spoke about the rocket going to Mars. We spoke about the light bulb. We spoke about 120 trades a month for 8 years, something that you don't have to do. Because the evidence is there. This is why I said on the last session, you have to dig deeper. And I'm not going to go into that now, but you have to go and do that framework that I put in the Rocks Academy resources. Because when I'm off the charts, I know I'm going to smash trades out left, right, and center. When I come to the charts and I see trading opportunities that aligns with my belief system and my process in the market, I already feel like I've won those trades. Every time I take a trade, I have 110% confidence that that trade is the best trade that I would ever take and never doubt it, whether it wins, lose, break evens. It does not matter. Now, that's the evidence part. When it comes to the next part that I'm going to tell you, this is the longer aspect of building a belief system. But that's only going to come through confidence. Now, confidence can only be built once you have a solid foundation, and that is the part that we just spoke about. The next part is this. How do I know when to take a reversal or when to take a continuation? Firstly, if you lack in belief in your concept. And knowing that it works and believing that it works is two different things, guys. Okay. You have to sell yourself to the idea so much so that you just there's nothing that you can do that would ever go wrong. Okay. But when it comes to continuation and reversals, how do I know when to take a continuation and or reversal? At this stage in your journey, when you have a lack of belief, you will not know the answer to either. But the way to get the answer to those questions is to intentionally focus on one aspect at a time. So if you want to know when to take continuations, the best way to do that is to only focus on continuations no matter what. Okay. Now, there's two ways you're going to trade continuations. You're going to trade continuations based on the previous candle closing bullish and believing the next candle will close bullish. That is it. The second way you're going to trade continuations is trading singular candles based on price failing to break structural lows and anticipating a reversal once price has created a bottom wick and flip bullish. We don't know if it's going bullish, but here's why it becomes very difficult for a lot of people, because there's a contradiction between the belief systems. If my focus is to see this candle go bullish and the next candle, so close bullish and the next candle go bullish, that does not align with the fact that this candle closed bearish and this candle closed bullish, does it? Or will go bullish. It's contradictory. So again, how do we work on this? Well, the first thing you do is you get laser focused on one approach. What is that? I don't really care what it is. And it's up to you to decide what that is. But let's say we keep it simple for the sake of everyone on the session. I would focus on, if this candle closes bullish, then this is the candle I'm going to take. Now, when you take this trade, you're going to say, well, I take these trades and there's criteria that I'm looking for, i.e. I'm looking for a small wick projection. I'm looking for a 50% retracement. I'm looking for the 1 minute to find support. I'm looking for clear market structure where the market is making higher highs and higher lows, where I can put my stop loss below and I can put my stop loss above here. Now, hands up. Well, no hands up. It's only me and Scott. But how many of you in the chat get distracted by the lower time frame structure, and that makes your decisions more difficult based on your belief system? I know a lot of people do. I was having this discussion this morning when I was on the session. Only one person. Okay, so let me break this down again. We have to build, and Scott, we have to build a belief system that is strong. If the lower time frames are distracting you because of the structure, not clear breaks of highs, you don't know where to put your stop loss, we have to get laser focused again. And how do we do that? We don't trade the lower time frame.
The video, one candle gonna close bullish, one candle gonna close bearish.
No, that's the belief system. So we moved on to that. I'm talking about lower time frames being distraction. If we want laser focus again, to build a strong belief system about a simple process, which is previous candle goes bullish, next candle will be bullish, what do we have to do? We need to eliminate the lower time frame.
Focus on a higher time frame.
That is it. Oh yeah, but I'm not going to get good entries and tight stop losses, and it doesn't matter. You're trying to build a strong belief system that the next candle will close bullish. You need the least amount of distractions as possible at this stage in your journey, because how are you going to believe that a candle can close bullish or bearish if you have doubts because the lower time frames are supposedly convincing you otherwise? Is that not going to interfere with the development of your belief system? Of course it is. Get laser focused. Okay. Did the previous candle close bullish? Yes. Do I believe the next candle is going to be bullish? Yes.
Yes.
Now, what is my criteria for entry? I need to see price to creating a bottom wick. And then once that bottom wick has been created and it flips bullish, I'm going to enter that trade no matter what. What else is there to think about? I don't have the lower time frames. I know my concept. I know the time frame I'm trading. I know the pair that I'm trading. I know the session that I'm trading. I know the risk that I'm taking. I know the risk to reward that I'm going for. And I know the management that I'm having with that trade. Yes or no?
Yes.
Is there anything to think about at this stage? No.
No.
Has it created a bottom wick? Yes. Has it flipped?
Yes.
Wait, let's start again. Has the previous candle closed bullish? Yes. Has it created a bottom wick? Yes.
Yes.
Has it flipped bullish? Yes. Can I enter this trade? Yes. There you go. Risk 1,000. I'll close it when the trade candle closes. Risk 1,000. Let's just say we made 2,000. How hard is that? Okay,
Simple.
what's going to happen at this stage is you're going to start overthinking the trade and you're going to say to yourself, well, isn't that a rejection zone? Of course you're going to say that.
Yes.
Because you're going to find all the reasons not to take this trade because you don't have a strong enough belief system that the candle will close bullish. And the reason you don't have a strong enough belief system that the candle will go bullish is because there has been so many distractions that have been distracting you that you haven't done the number one thing that is going to build that belief, and that's pressing the button. Now, when you take a trade like this, there's going to be other things that crop up. But before we get into those things, the first thing I need to say to you is this. There is no point in trying to figure out what risk to reward to go for. What is the best and worst trade? Where should I place my stop loss? How much risk should I put on the trade? Should I hold it for longer? Should I scale to the 5-minute or 1-minute time frame? Is there strength or weakness in the dollar that the reason why this is going up X, Y, and Z? There's just no point thinking about that. Because now you have so many different channels of so many different elements that you have to focus on. And if you don't get one of those right, you will believe that you're doing it wrong, as opposed to focusing on the belief that the candle's supposed to close bullish or bearish. So what you need to be doing at this stage, guys, is you need to be giving yourself the best opportunity to create a strong enough belief system about the core aspect of your process. And then what happens? You take enough trades to get whooped by the market enough that the market tells you what you need to do next. And I'll give you an example of that. If you took this trade and you built a strong enough belief system and you just went for 1-to-1, and then you've done this consistently for a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long you want to do it, and you start to see that the market keeps going to 1-to-2, 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 but you haven't been taking 1-to-2s because your focus now is to build a strong enough belief system. So you're smashing 1-to-1s now, but your ass is getting whooped by 1-to-2s that you could have been a part of. What can you now do? You can now pivot. So instead of focusing your attention on how can I get as much out of the market as I possibly can, what's the best risk to reward, oh, there's a key level, you just focus on building a strong enough belief system about a candle closing bullish or bearish, get those W's in, and when the market whoops your butt and says, haha, you could have got 1-to-2s and 1-to-3s, you don't do nothing until that happens, and then when that happens, you pivot. Now, why would that happen? Because now you have a strong enough belief system that a candle could close bullish, in this case, close bullish, no matter what. And you're realizing that you don't have to focus on that belief system no more because it's become second nature to you. You're starting to open your eyes in ways that will allow you to take advantage of bigger moves in the market or bigger opportunities in the market. Then you add that to your arsenal. And then once you've added that to your arsenal, you've built confidence already on your belief system about your process. Now you're smashing 1-to-2s. You might say to yourself, well, how can I take advantage of using the lower time frame so that I can get maybe tighter entries, or maybe I could place my stop loss, get better risk to reward. And then this is what you do. You open the next door. And you go over here and you say to yourself, what can I do in this situation that could potentially help me with my trade? Well, look, I can use the 1-minute structure or the 5-minute structure to put my stop loss below here. And then what I can do is once I've got a better entry based on the process, I can use scaling up techniques. I believe that if this candle pushes bullish, there's no reason for it to stop moving bullish until it gets to this high. So then let's move this over. You add this to your arsenal. So you've gone from a 1-to-1 to a 1-to-2. You've gone from a lack of belief to an absolutely unbreakable belief about your process. You now have clear direction and intention on the concept that you're going to trade, which is the previous candle closed bullish, next candle will be bullish. You enter with no distractions on the higher time frame without using the lower time frame. You target 1-to-1s to get those wins so that you are building confidence. You get whooped by the market because you could have been taking 1-to-2s or 1-to-3s, but you had to build a belief first. You shift to 1-to-2s and you start doing extremely well in that area. And then you start to use maybe scaling up techniques and say to yourself, there's no reason for this candle to stop moving bullish until it gets to this high. So now I'm going for a 1-to-1 from a 1-to-2, and I'm going to target that high. And now I'm at, let's say, a 1-to-4 in this instance. Do you see how we're layering this and building from the bottom up? Now, this is not going to be possible. What will happen for most of you is you will find belief in your process, you will get short-term results, you will lose belief, and then you will go back to square one, and then you start in this revolving door. You'll be just stuck in this revolving door. But if you build the belief system as your foundational base, you're laser focused on the process that you are trading, you execute enough to allow the markets to give you that experience and teach you what you could be doing more or getting more, as opposed to wanting more and needing more. And then you go with that flow long enough, you're going to get results. And that's what you call penny dropping moments. And then once that happens, what you can then do in this instance is you can say, I have now mastered the 2-candle theory based on the belief system that the previous candle will close bullish. Sorry, the previous candle has closed bullish and the next candle will be bullish. Now, let me make this very clear to every one of you. If it doesn't close bullish and you get stopped out, as I always say, it is just a losing trade. Now, if you allow your belief system to be crushed by a losing trade, then that means you don't have a strong enough belief system. That means you don't believe or you don't understand that in your business, losing is part and parcel of your business. That means you don't believe in yourself to be consistent enough to get results. That means you don't believe that you're going to be a profitable trader. If you allow a losing trade or a few losing trades to shake your belief system, you can't serve God today and then the devil tomorrow. Do you understand me? You either do or you don't. You either believe in your system or you don't. It's that simple. Now, you're not going to believe in your trading concept or process by taking trades. You better fix that shit up off the charts first. And how you do that is by making sure you're not lying to yourself in other areas of life and you're focusing your attention on the right narratives and stories that you're telling yourself. Because doubt and fear is the biggest, they're the two biggest crippling, what would I say it is? Two biggest crippling things, okay, that is going to hold you back from near enough everything that you do in your life. Everything. And if you spend most of your time trading, or a good half of your time trading or thinking about trading, probably for most of you, but you have doubt and fear, then where are you going? None of you will ever have a special power. None of you will never have the Holy Grail. None of you will ever have a 70, 80, 90, 100% win rate. None of you will ever not lose a trade. None of you will ever go through days where you do doubt or fear. None of you will ever go through your life hesitating to take a trade. None of you will ever go through your life closing a trade early. No one will ever go through their life being greedy or doing dumb shit. It will happen to every single one of us. But if you can just go back to the core belief system and you don't repeat those negatives or those things that are going to hold you back and you bounce back like that, you just can't lose. And I want to make this very clear. When I teach you concepts or strategies, let's keep it simple. When I teach you strategies, I'm teaching you foundational things, principles and guidelines for you to follow. It's then for you to build a belief system on top of that. So when I say go for 1 to freeze, that is to build a strong enough belief, that is to make sure that you have an edge in the market. Okay? When I say to you, don't touch all trades, that is, sorry, not to have an edge in the market, 1 to 3. Sorry. When I say go for 1 to 3, that is so that you can learn to build confidence and patience and discipline without touching your trades. When I say to you, don't manage your trades, that is so that you can learn to walk away and come back without interfering with the trades. When I say to you guys, trade 2 pairs, that is so you don't get distracted by the other pairs. When I say to you guys, focus on 1 strategy and not 10, just because I shared 5 with you, that doesn't mean to trade with 5. That means pick the one you resonate with, build a belief system and stick to it. You hearing me, guys? You understand what I'm telling you? There is only so much. So in the beginning, it's going to be laid out in writing. But your job is to take the core principles and fundamentals of what I'm teaching you and make it your own. Because if you don't make it your own, the next time you go on YouTube, what's going to happen? Somebody's going to show you a slip with 75 grand in their Ferrari, in their new mansion house, with their new this and their new that. And what's going to happen to you without a strong belief system? You're going to go to the FTMO YouTube channel and see somebody pass their challenge with 3 trades because they held for 1 to 10. And now you believe this concept is the best, not 1 to 3 or 1 to 2 or 1 to 1. You're going to go on Instagram and hear somebody say, oh, there's no such thing as retail trading and you have to trade with the banks. And then you'd be like, oh, yeah, my belief system shattered again. So you deviate to that. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Okay. The next thing is this. Once you have this locked and loaded, this is your money maker. It could be this, or it could be this, but this is your money maker. You want to build and become a more adept trader, then master this first. And then once you've got this, let's work on the next belief system. Are you ready? The next belief system for me is that if price does not break a structural low into a wick rejection area, here, then I believe that once the candle fails to continue that bearish momentum and creates a bottom wick, it will continue bullish. And then I'm taking this trade. Bam. Whatever I'm going for. 1 to 3. Pretty simple belief system, right? But how am I going to build that belief system when I haven't got results? Well, I have to do the exact same thing and go through the exact same process as I did here. And in that time, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to lose trades. I'm going to have to build on that belief system. I'm going to win trades. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm not being overconfident. Whatever it is, it's going to be another process. However long that process takes is down to you and you working on that belief system. Then once I've worked on that, I then say to myself, well, I'm starting to notice something in the market. When price comes into wick rejection zones, when the candle is overextended, it's met its range, and I start to see a slowdown on the lower time frames, there is a much higher chance that price will reject that zone. The belief is if it doesn't break above or continue pushing bullish, it must go bearish based on that reason. Not because I made it up, because it happens every day in the markets. Same as when a candle closes bullish, the next candle will be bullish. I did not make that up. It happens every day in the markets. Just like when I'm taking single candle trades and it fails to break the lows or fails to break the highs, it goes bullish or it goes bearish. I did not make that up. It happens in the markets every day. So if it happens every single day, I only need to be part of those trades. Let's say I take 3 trades and I lose 3 trades, and I take 1 trade and I win that trade at 3R, I'm at break even. I only need to have a good run of wins or a good, decent win with my first trade or whatever it may be, or I just need to manage my risk very well for me to be profitable. Now, if you're focusing on how profitable you should be, which is what challenges have forced you guys to do, as opposed to focusing on the process, you're focusing on getting 8 to 10% so you can pass your challenge, and then 5% to pass, get funded so that you can leave your job as quickly as you can, because money is now available to you quicker than you would ever have it. But that should not distract you from the fact that the targets should not be the focus. It should be the process that will get you to the target. Is this making sense? So once you've done that, guys, now I'm equipped. I have my 3 concepts that I'm trading, or my 3 processes that I'm trading. I have 3 unbelievable belief systems, and it just doesn't matter what happens. If this candle rejected this zone, it's created this top wick, it's flipped bearish, I can take this trade. I put my stop loss above. I'm happy with a 20 pip stop loss. I'll place this here like that. I'll risk my 1%, 3%, 5%. It really doesn't matter. And then I'm taking my trade. Do I care what is happening on the 1 minute time frame? In the beginning? No. Do I care if this trade wins or loses? No. Would I like it to win? Of course. But if price is rejected, bearish sentiment has been depleted, I can see signs that there is bearish momentum or sentiment in the market because it's created this top wick, it's flipped bearish. And my criteria is to enter when it flips bearish. Is this a trade that I have to take? It's a trade that I have to take, because if I don't take it, I'm shattering my belief system. Now, if it loses, I'm not going to say to myself, oh my goodness, it lost because price is failing to break these structural lows. Oh, it's in a consolidation. Oh, when I went to the higher time frame, the daily candle was bullish. Oh, I needed this 4H candle to close more bearish than it did bullish. So that's why. You don't do that. You enter the trade based on your belief system. You must take this trade, and regardless of the result, it does not matter. Because did I not do the same thing here? And did this trade not win? Yes. Is this trade the same process as this trade? Might be slightly off, but let's say it closed more bearish. Is this trade the same process? Yes. So if it's the same process, then that's a winning approach to the markets. That is a winning mindset. That is a winning belief system. And that is a winning process to the markets. If you're winning in all 3 areas, how can you lose? It is almost impossible to lose, especially for the simple fact that we are trading based on candles closing bullish or bearish. That is it. There is no break and retest. There is no breakouts. There is no liquidity zones. There is no bullish, bearish, engulfing candles. There is no pin bars. There is nothing. There is the simple core belief that a candle must close bullish or bearish at some point today. Once you have done that, then you can start thinking about management by saying to yourself, how can I increase my advantage of, how can I increase my advantage in the markets? From my experience, from my 10,000 trades, from my 8 years of trading consistently without stopping, taking 120 trades a month, with an unshakable belief system, I have now realized that when there's a wick rejection zone in the market, there is a chance that price can reject it. I've also noticed in the market that when the 4H candle has been bullish, there is a high chance that it can continue to push bullish based on the previous candle closing bullish. Based on that information, as much as I want to go for a 1 to 2, I'm going to be very aggressive with my risk management based on my experience, not fear, not doubt, based on my experience, that if I get to this 1 to 1, I'm going to manage it to break even, and then I'll make a decision whether to hold or not based on my risk tolerance. You may say to yourself, well, hold on. Based on my experience, what I have noticed that when the previous 4H candle closes bullish, even if the candle flips bearish on the 4H, I have seen, after taking 120 trades a month for 8 years to get to 10,000 trades, that price usually pushes bearish, not what you think or fear. That being said, I've also seen that when there is a consolidation on the 5 minute, 1 minute, 50 minute time frame, and their higher time frame has that 4 structure, it's very unlikely that it will continue bearish. So I will not take this trade. Or you build an unshakable belief system that you do not care what the structure looks like, Because from your experience, from the 120 trades a month for the last 8 years, your 10,000 trades that you've taken consistently with a strong belief system without deviating, you don't care about what the structure is doing, what the 1 minute's doing, 5 minutes doing, high time frames doing. If the previous candle closed with a rejection, closes bearish, price creates a top wick, flips bearish, it will continue to drive bearish, and you hold on to that. You cannot build parameters to protect you from losing until you've built experience in the market for the market to tell you what you should be doing based on how you approach the markets and how strong your belief system is or not. Otherwise, you're going to adopt my opinion, my belief systems, you're going to adopt someone else's belief systems that are stronger than yours, or you're going to constantly change your belief systems, which is not going to create consistency in your trading. Is this making sense? So this is something that is probably going to require you guys to listen back to, and I would recommend taking notes, because your success in trading or anything that you do, and I mean anything that you do, starts with your belief system. And I don't know where those beliefs are coming from, but what I do know is that 90% of them, or if not, maybe a little less, but the majority of them are coming from your past that you're bringing into your present, as opposed to thinking about your future and creating that in your present. And I cannot stress to you enough that if you don't shape that or change that, you will stay stuck. And most people say, I'm stuck in the 9 to 5, I'm stuck in the matrix, I'm stuck in that. You're only stuck in it because you choose to adopt other people's belief systems, as opposed to creating yours because you don't believe in yours enough. And I don't want that for any single one of you in the slightest. And that has been my sole focus and will continue to be my only mission, to make you guys believe in what you deserve to believe in. And when it comes to trading and sharing my 13 years, 14 years almost now of experience that I've had in the markets, I am sharing absolutely everything with you in the hope that you would adopt this. All I ask of you is to focus on the process that I've shared with you now and to stop getting distracted. There's one thing they say in business when it comes to building a business and in terms of growing and developing and evolving in personal development and in business, is don't listen to what other people have to say. What I'm telling you now, because somebody may not be saying something to you, but you are telling yourself the wrong things, and you need to stop listening to that and start building the narrative and the voice that is going to create a strong enough belief system for you to get the results that you want.